Hi, I'm September Gerety, and my kids call me an environmental geek. I figure if that's the worst insult they can come up with, I'm probably doing okay as a parent. And I probably wouldn't be up here talking about life less plastic if I weren't an environmental geek, so I'm all right with that. When we think about pollution, this is probably the picture that comes into our mind. And in fact, plastic and oil are inextricably related. Even so-called green plastics or bioplastics often have additives that are petroleum-based. When we think about plastic pollution, really this is the picture that should come into our head. We're swimming in it. Researchers have found plastic in our blood, our urine, our saliva, it's in breast milk, it's even in amniotic fluid, so we're being exposed to toxic chemicals from plastic even before we're born. These are Nerdles that were found on a beach in New Zealand. Nerdles are the feedstock for all of the plastic stuff that we use every day. The packaging, the products, the toys, the electronics. It also accounts for 10% of the plastic garbage that's in our oceans. And speaking of the oceans, you may have heard of the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. It's like a giant planetary toilet bowl that is backed up with our plastic waste. It's thousands and thousands of miles of spinning plastic with nowhere to go in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. Unsuspecting sea creatures like jellyfish and krill eat those nurdles, and also larger toxic plastic pieces are dangerous as well. This albatross was killed when its parents fed it plastic thinking they were feeding it food. Due to many complicated factors, most plastic is not recycled, and even when conscientious people like us throw our plastic into the recycling bin, it's generally just downcycled, meaning that it's turned into things like polar fleece jackets or lumber for decks, not into new plastic bottles. Plastic is everywhere. If you are chewing gum right now, you are chewing on plastic. My mom told me I should wear a plastic dress, and I thought I would kind of look like a freak if I wore a dress made out of garbage bags, but then I remembered, oh yeah, polyester is plastic, so here I am in my plastic dress. And it's true that a lot of hardcore environmental activists do seem a little bit freaky. This is my family, and we are clearly quite normal. So, our secrets to using less plastic involve asking ourselves these questions. And it's hardest in the kitchen and in the bathroom, so that's what I'm going to talk about tonight, how we can use less plastic in the kitchen and in the bathroom. So deodorant is super, super plastic, and I am a person who really sweats a lot. So 2 words, baking and soda. And it won't make you smell fakey great like deodorant does, but it will keep you from smelling terrible. And the way I know this is because I repeatedly forced people to smell my pits when I first started trying it. Luckily, my pits were not quite as hairy as this. I decided that was a little too 1971. So I do still shave, but also there are a lot of non-plastic shaving alternatives, so you don't have to do baking soda plus hair. The environment inside a diaper is moist, it's warm, it's the perfect environment to leach plastic chemicals into your baby's bottom. Cloth is really a much better option, but we use and throw away 16 billion plastic diapers a year in the US. Coconut oil is awesome. It comes in a glass bottle, and it is a good replacement for lotions and other moisturizers. It's also a great eye makeup remover, and if you're kind of hungry when you're moisturizing at night, you can eat it. And speaking of eating, which lunch would you rather have? There's a whole spectrum from totally disposable Lunchables to Ziploc baggies to Tupperware to the metal non-disposable Planet boxes that my kids take to lunch at school. I see this all the time at Whole Foods. Somebody brings their reusable basket or their reusable bag, and then they stuff it full of all these little plastic produce bags, which sort of defeats the purpose. So you can put produce in cloth bags, or you can even carry it loose. I know, shocking, right? So my friend Nicole Allen, who's sitting right here, hates the feel of ice on her teeth. And so we go to restaurants, and she's like, I need a straw. And I'm like, no, you don't. And she's like, yes, I do. So I'm going to give her a glass straw, and we're just going to stop the whole bickering at restaurants. And in the kitchen, leftovers are kind of tricky if you can't use a plastic baggie or a plastic box to put them in, but luckily there are all kinds of glass and metal containers that work really well. My family can phase out plastic in the fridge, so can yours. And that's really the message that I want to leave you with. If we're creative, we can use plastic, which is a valuable and dangerous resource, for things that are unavoidable, things we really need, like car seats, instead of using them for disposable plastic bottles. There's no way to totally get rid of it. Obviously, I like to talk and I can talk really fast, but I have more resources on my website, so you are welcome to find out how you can reduce your plastic there. And if you want to meet me at El Monte after, you can totally smell my pits.